Well, we did it again. We had another strong day yesterday, going 2-1 on our picks from yesterday's video, which brings our record for the last 3 videos to a nice little 8-2 run. Guys, my name's CJ Curry. Thank you so much for joining me for today's PrizePicks video. If you're not already subscribed yet, please get subscribed now. We're on our way to 13,000 subscribers. Are you taking the over or the under today? Are we gonna go over 13,000 subs? Or are we gonna have to wait another day for another video for us to hit the over on 13,000? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you're not subscribed yet though, be a part of the movement, be a part of this growing community that we have here. It's flourishing, it's growing rapidly, and I appreciate everybody who's out there hitting that like button, subscribing, and turning those notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content when I drop it here on YouTube. All right, if you're not playing on PrizePicks yet, guys, promo code Curry still getting you the 100% instant deposit match. Just make your first deposit. Use the special link that I've left for you down in the description of today's video, and you can get a 100% dollar for dollar match all the way up to $100, which makes your first entry here on PrizePicks completely risk-free. So once you make that first deposit, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what should I bet on? Well, that's what I'm here for. We're going to take a look at today's different picks. We got 3 different guards. It's very guard heavy in today's video, but we've got some very good lines. I think some value here that we can capture early like we've been doing in the last few videos. Again, on that 8-2 run, we're looking to keep things hot, keep things going here. Starting off with Spencer Dinwiddie of the Brooklyn Nets. He's going up against the Charlotte Hornets. He's at 8.5 assists. Now, this one stood out to me because I went over to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, obviously one of my favorite tools, if not my most favorite tool to use for PrizePicks research. And I saw a couple different options here for Spencer Dinwiddie. And really, there are multiple ways you could go here, most of them being unders. So the top optimizer play right now is Spencer Dinwiddie under 4.5 rebounds. But I decided to go with the assists here at 8.5. I think he's going to go under that, based on some information that I'm about to show you. 52.7% chance as of right now that he stays under 9 assists, so 8 or fewer, and we get paid. Let's take a look at the matchup first and foremost. He is going up against the Charlotte Hornets. They will be without LaMelo Ball. Unfortunately, LaMelo Ball is injured once again, but just taking a look here at the last 7 games, what this is a defense versus position chart. It will show us over the last 7 games how many assists per game that the Charlotte Hornets are giving up to opposing point guards in that span. So if we scroll down toward the bottom here, we have to go way down, all the way down to the 6th fewest assists allowed per game by the Charlotte Hornets. They're giving up just 7.3 dimes per game to opposing point guards. So it doesn't get a whole lot lower than that. They're pretty stingy when it comes to allowing point guards to get assists against them over the last 7 games. So we know the matchup is good. We know that it's a plus EV play, a positive expected value play. In other words, the odds are on our side and in our favor. So let's check a couple different projections now for Spencer Dinwiddie. Again, I'm looking at the assists today, but if you want to go in a different direction with Spencer Dinwiddie, be my guest. I've got a number of different projections here. We can take a look at a few of them. The rebounds do look good. I mean, he's projected for 3.8 rebounds on a line of 4.5, so you could definitely go in that direction. The assists, they're at 8.5. He's projected for 6.1 assists. Let me show you why I'm taking the assists versus the rebounds. Pulling up props.cash here, you could take a look at all these lovely game charts, game logs for guys like Spencer Dinwiddie and the rest of your favorite NBA players. Just by signing up for props.cash, I've left a special link down in the description of today's video. That'll save you 25% off when you use code Curry and sign up for your first month for new users, new members to props.cash. So taking a look here, 16 games played by Spencer Dinwiddie this season. He's only exceeded 8.5 assists just 4 times. Just 4 times in the 16 games that he's appeared in. So that's a 25% hit rate. His assists per game average, 6.4. This line just seems a little bit too high, just a tad bit high. Then when you kind of take a look at something else here, it seems like Cam Thomas is going to come back and play for Brooklyn. He's expected to play. When you add Cam Thomas, games Dinwiddie has played alongside of Cam Thomas, well, I mean, he's only hit the over on his assists one time, and that was 9 assists, barely going over against the Chicago Bulls with Cam Thomas in the lineup. 1 for 7 this season, just a 14% hit rate. So I think things are looking pretty good here for an underplay based on what we're seeing. We've got projections that are on our side. We've got favorable, consistent hit rates of Spencer Dinwiddie staying under 8.5 assists. And we've got a matchup that looks kind of tough on paper as well. So for me, I think I would be considering Spencer Dinwiddie under assists, but I think there's a lot of different ways you could go with Dinwiddie. If you don't like the assists, maybe you go rebounds. It's a little bit more optimal, so to speak, on the optimizer, but looks like there's going to be a lot of unders potentially for Spencer Dinwiddie. And this game looks like it could be a blowout with Brooklyn as 7.5-point favorite. So maybe Dinwiddie just doesn't see as much court time as he usually would in a close competitive game. On to the next pick. The number 2 pick here is Donovan Mitchell. He's at 4.5 assists. Now he's going up against the Portland Trail Blazers. This is another game that looks like it's probably going to be a blowout, a lopsided affair favoring the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, they're probably going to put a butt whooping on the Portland Trail Blazers. Let's just be honest about it. But taking a look here at the matchup, first and foremost, back to the DVP chart we go. We're going to be looking at the shooting guard position this time. And then we're going to go over to the assist category. And you don't have to go down very far because the Portland Trail Blazers are giving up a pretty healthy amount of assists per game to opposing shooting guards. In fact, it is the 7th most or 7th highest assist per game average in that 7-game span. So as far as the matchup goes, it's a good one, guys, against Portland. I don't think we have to really overthink this here. Heading back over to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, if we type in Donovan Mitchell's name, and you see the top play on the optimizer right now is in fact his assist over 4.5, meaning he's got about a 54% chance. When the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer goes out and scans all the sports books, it scans the way that the juice is flowing. Are the odds for the over or are the odds for the under? Well, in this case, they're for the over. So you're getting true odds, fair odds of minus 138, giving him about a 54% chance of getting 5 or more assists for you against this Portland Trailblazer squad. So we know the matchup's good now. We know that this is a plus EV play. All the data seems to be pointing so far of going over on the 4.5 assists. Now let's take a look at his game logs here. Now these game logs, first let me show you all of the games this season, and then we'll talk about a way that you can filter even further and get more accurate game log results. Just taking a look at the overall game logs here for Donovan Mitchell. 13 games he's appeared in, 9 out of 13. That is a 69% hit rate for Donovan Spider Mitchell. Even the games where he does not go over 4.5 assists. I mean, he's at least, like D'Angelo Russell yesterday, giving you a fighting chance. He's got games in there where he's got 4 assists, right? So he's always knocking on the door of, 4, 5, 6, 7, even sometimes 9 assists like he had against the Indiana Pacers. But here's where things get a little bit sweeter. When you actually add Darius Garland in here, games played with Darius Garland, look at the hit rates now. I mean, they go up to 89%. 8 out of the 9 games he's played alongside of his backcourt mate, Darius Garland, he's gone over, which is a 5.8 assists per game average. So, I mean, he's knocking it out of the park when it comes to dropping dimes playing with Darius Garland. Interesting enough. So, does it look like a good play as far as consistency goes? Yeah, I mean, he's doing a great job of covering the 4.5 assists. I don't think it gets much more consistent than this. Now, taking a look here, we're going to check some projections. We're going to look at RotoWire once again for a projection on Donovan Mitchell. They've got him all the way up at 4.95 assists, very close to 5. 5 or more, we get paid, right? We want to get paid. So Donovan Mitchell's projections are looking good. Now, projections aren't always accurate. I mean, projections can be wrong, right? But in this case, we've got a second projection model. This one's provided by NumberFire. NumberFire is a free site for you guys to go out and check projections. If you want to check projections and include that in your player prop research process, I do it. I highly recommend it. I think everybody should look at least a couple of good, solid projection models, NumberFire being one of them. And it's free 99, y'all. what's better than free? So second projection here for Donovan Mitchell at 5 assists. So we got two different projection sites. They both have him going over 4.5 dimes. The hit rates are off the charts. They get even better when Darius Garland plays in the matchup. Not a shabby matchup whatsoever. So for me, again, I would be thinking about taking the over on Donovan Mitchell. That's just my opinion, my 2 cents. If you feel differently, if you feel otherwise, by all means, do what you want to do with your money. And that's going to be true with this next pick. This next pick, Jalen Brunson. Yeah, he's our thumbnail player of the day. We had a very spirited conversation in the Eyes on the Prize Discord. That's my Discord community. The same Discord community that you get access to when you join the Dub Club. Now, Dub Club is where I post picks each and every day, winning picks for you guys, saving you time, saving you the hassle of doing your own research. And it goes a long way in helping support the content here on the YouTube channel. So if you want to be a part of a community of like-minded individuals, sports fans who are betting on sports, talking about sports, hey, we've got a family-friendly, light-hearted community for you. I've left a link down in the description of today's video, and I'll also pin it. The top comment in today's video, I'll pin a link for you to join the Dub Club and get started with us today. But anyway, we had a very spirited discussion about this fellow, Jalen Brunson, our thumbnail player of the game. Now, for me, I think Jalen Brunson is a fine player. No, I don't mean fine like that. I mean fine as he's good at basketball, right? Most of the time, he's a pretty good basketballer. But I know that a lot of you haven't forgotten what happened on Tuesday when he was blessed as a taco, a discounted player projection here on PrizePicks. A lot of y'all still have the bitter taste in your mouth of what was a very soggy taco. Jalen Brunson had 12 points the other night, in case y'all missed out. In case y'all didn't know what Jalen Brunson did in his last game, he only had 12 points. But I think this is a perfect bounce back spot against a pretty bad, pitiful Detroit Pistons team. So let's first and foremost take a look at the matchup here. Why am I on Jalen Brunson? Because listen, the guy scores over 24 points per game for the season. He's not going to stay down at 12 points per game forever. Just because he did bad in the last game doesn't mean that is a sign of things to come. Now, if he does bad in this game, well, hey, I can't help that. You know, if this was NBA 2K, what I would do is I'd pick up the sticks myself, and I would make Jalen Brunson go over 24.5 points. I would do it. I would do it for me. I would do it for you guys. But it's not NBA 2K. We cannot control the outcome of what Jalen Brunson will do once the game starts. All we can do is control our input, in this case, our research. And so taking a look at this matchup here, look at the Detroit Pistons over the last 7 games. 29.93 points per game given up to opposing point guards. What position does Jalen Brunson play? He's a point guard, guys, for the New York Knicks. And the Knicks are facing the Pistons. So almost 30 points per game allowed to opposing point guards in the last 7 games. The Pistons are not defending opposing point guards well at all. To further illustrate my point, let's take a look here at props.cash. Jalen Brunson sitting at 23.5 points. Look at what he's done with the 23.5 point line. 65% hit rate, 11 out of 17 games. He's actually gone over 23.5 points. And if you look here, you see the green, you see the red. It's not so often that Jalen Brunson has 2 bad games where he stinks up the joint in back-to-back games. You just don't see it happen very often. I mean, if we go all the way back here where he had 19 points, that's a pretty good game. But he bounces back with 24, 45, falls all the way down to 7 points against the Clippers. But then he comes back and he bounces back with 25 points. He has kind of a subpar game with 20 against Charlotte. But then he comes back and reels off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row where he exceeds 23.5 points. And then, yes, the stinker once again against the Charlotte Hornets where he has just 12 points on Taco Tuesday. I think he's due for a bounce back game. I don't think the matchup's going to get much better than the Detroit Pistons, who's given up, again, almost 30 points per game, the 3rd highest point per game average to opposing point guards. I mean, what more do you want from this guy? It's a great matchup. The consistency's been there over the last 10 games. I mean, you take a look at just the last 10 and you isolate those and you're like, wow, that's a lot of green. And it is a lot of green. He's averaging 25.5 points per game over his last 10 games, which is an 80% hit rate. So things are looking good. If you want to go down to props.cash here and you want to drill down even further, listen, you can. This tool's fantastic. This website, props.cash, is amazing. Check it out. Like I said, I've left a link for you down in the description. If you haven't used props.cash before, you'll save some money on your first month with that code Curry. But taking a look at the matchups against opposing point guards, this is the way that the Detroit Pistons have rolled lately against opposing point guards. Tyrese Halliburton, they gave up 26 points to Hallie. 21 points against Reggie Jackson. Let's just be honest. Reggie Jackson's not on the same level as Jalen Brunson. He got 21 points against the Detroit Pistons. 28 points to Darius Garland. 29 points to Tyrese Maxey. Now, I would put Jalen Brunson in the same class, same category as a Garland, as a Maxey, as far as a player goes. 34 points given up to Damian Lillard. 34 to Steph Curry. You get the point. The Detroit Pistons suck at guarding point guards. They give up a lot of points to opposing point guards. Now, when we go take a look at the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, here's where you got a decision to make. You got a decision to make here, folks. There's a number of different optimal ways to play Jalen Brunson. You can go over on his points and rebounds at 26.5. Right now, according to the optimizer, that is the most optimal way to play a Jalen Brunson prop, is to take the over on 26.5 points and rebounds. You could also go over on 29.5 points and assists. Now, that wouldn't be a bad move either, because the Detroit Pistons are giving up about 30 points per game, as we mentioned, but they're also giving up over 10.5 assists per game to opposing point guards as well, which is good for the fifth highest average assists per game over the last 7 games. So, I mean, you could go points and assists if you want, or just take the points on their own. As far as hit rates go, though, going back to props.cash here, as far as hit rates go, 23.5 points, 65% hit rate. If you wanted to play the points and assists, that one's got a lower hit rate at 47%. He's done a better job lately, but just overall for this season, the points on their own has the better hit rate. Or you could go points and rebounds, which is the top optimal play on the optimizer. So you got a number of different ways to play Jalen Brunson, but I think the one that is most interesting to me is his 23.5 points, because it's got the highest hit rate. It's been the one that he's been most consistent with hitting this season. So now that we know what we know about Brunson, let's go take a look at some different projections for Jalen Brunson to help you decide which way you want to play Jalen Brunson. So take a look at his points projection, 23.55 points. The line is 23.5. So the projection and the line are darn near the same. Now, we talked about some of these other categories. 29 projected points and assists on a line of 29.5. We've also got a projection of 27.53 points and rebounds on a line of 26.5. So the rebounds and the points are projecting well. The points on their own are okay. The points and assists are a little light. 29, and then the line's 29.5. Let's just look at a second projection. Just to be thorough, I want to make sure that you guys are getting as much bang for your buck, as much value as possible out of this video. Now, this is Number Fire. Number Fire's got him at 23.9 points. They've also got him projected for 3.5 boards and 6.2 assists. So let's bust out the calculator real quick. So if you wanted to go points are good. 23.9, the line's 23.5. But if you want to add in the rebounds here, now you're sitting at 27.4 points and rebounds. Again, the line on that is 26.5. So he does clear, according to the projections on Number Fire, the points and rebounds if you wanted to do that. Or maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to go points at 23.9 plus assist at 6.2. And then you get a projection of 30.1 points plus assists. And again, his line is sitting at 29.5. So a lot of these projections are pretty sharp on Jalen Brunson, but once again, I have a hunch that, he's not going to be bad 2 games in a row. I mean, you looked at the game logs. I looked at the game logs. It's very, very rare that Jalen Brunson lays an egg in back-to-back games. I'm just pointing it out to you guys. I'm just sharing the facts. I'm sharing my findings with you. What do you think, though? Give me your thoughts and opinions on these picks. Are any of them standing out more than the others? Is there ones that you're liking better than another one? Which one do you think is going to come through clutch, or which one do you think is going to leave you in tears at the end of the night? I love to hear your comments. I respond to every comment down in the comments section. This is a spicy little 3 to 4 picks that we just discussed. Let me know what you're thinking, guys. Until the next time, Good luck on all your entries tonight. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.